Hey!
This is JJ and Alex.
I made a name for myself, I told you I won't be denied.
As you wrap up your day, it's time to get your fix of the teams you live for and the sports you love. This is JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday to you. Happy sports, everybody. However you participate, however you celebrate, where you are. We hope that you are finds you well as we start this program. Hey, Jeremiah, Jensen, Alex, Kirry, thanks for being with us on the program. We just got to chat with Mitch Harper and Steve Bartle in the flesh here. A lot of times we're having those guys on over the ether, but you know what? Good to see those guys in today for a couple hours while Scotty G is having quite the turnaround. Saw him on TV last night in Canada.
What a weekend for Scotty. I don't think he expected to do play-by-play this weekend, but he did great.
Well, when I
hanging out with Booner in Toronto.
Yeah, I mean, you go from that San Diego State insane energy game, and we were talking about how an early game on a Saturday felt funky at the Spec, but you know what? Once you get inside, it's like going to watch a movie middle of the day. You assume it's nighttime when you're going to go out, and you go, oh, because you're inside. Who cares? Once it started to go, that was awesome. That was an awesome win for the Ags, and that's a team they needed to get that against because, they kind of been, no, not
well, they had that two-game stretch, the loss to Grand Canyon and then to UNLV at home.
Bad.
You don't lose to a mid-team in the Spectrum ever.
Yeah.
And it was rough, and fans were like, what's going on here? Boy, what a response. They got one out in Colorado, in Fort Collins against Colorado State. Come back, drill Wyoming at home. This looks like the Aggies team that we thought they were going to be. And then to find a way to rally in the second half and to beat San Diego State. Any San Diego State-Utah State game is going to be electric. Good. There's going to be an edge to it. And it did not disappoint on Saturday. And for the Aggies to find a way and come out on top was pretty impressive. Carson Templin bailed them out in the first half with 12 points off the bench. And then in the second half, they just figured it out and found a way. The Aggies started 0 of 9 from 3 in that game and still found a way to come back and win. And they didn't get the production they normally get from Collins and Fallsliv, but Carson Templin stepped up. And Adlan Elamine, they've got a really nice freshman, Adlan Elamine, who has been just getting better and better each and every game. Jared Calhoun's got something going there, and the Aggies are right back where they need to be. Probably a 7 or an 8 seed in the NCAA tournament as of right now. And that win was big, as you said, because it puts them into a 3-way tie with San Diego State and New Mexico. And guess who they play this week at the Pit?
I'm assuming not San Diego State.
Correct. I set that up for even the smallest of brains.
Yeah. Well,
they play the Lobos
how dare you?
in Albuquerque this week.
I set this up for even the smallest of brains. Should I be offended by that, Annapolis? I think you should.
Well, you don't be offended because you passed the test, so you're good.
There's only one pit in all of sports.
Well, you're paying attention, so you have credibility now. So yeah, it's a great win for the Aggies. Great weekend of hoops. Obviously, not the same result for BYU. They're in a little bit of a crunch here. I'm a little worried about BYU in the Big 12.
I'm trying to think about the I knew it was going to be tough, and how much attention they give to the Darren Peterson, AJ DeBonsa back and forth, and whether or not they actually deserved. If that was that really, everybody wants to see that matchup, right? Obviously, and then it's well, AJ DeBonsa lost. He lost that matchup, man. He doesn't have it. It's this is Darren Peterson's draft. I'm always like, that's fine. You can have him. Maybe he goes to maybe AJ DeBonsa falls all the way down to 3rd in the draft, and that's where the Jazz swoop in. No? Come on.
Why not? I mean, that's a great scenario for the Jazz because I think DeBonsa's a perfect match for the Jazz and what they'd be looking for in the draft. To get a wing of his skill.
But think about having because what's
let me throw out a hypothetical.
How tall is Ace
lineup.
Bailey? He's like 6'8", right? Or 6?
Yeah, 6'8". They're
6'8".
right. 6'8", 6'9" is that range.
Same.
So let me throw this out there: a starting lineup of Keyonte George, a point guard, and your wings are Ace Bailey, AJ DeBonsa, and Lauri Markkanen.
Is your 4?
So he's 6'8", 6'9", 7 feet. And then you've got a 7-foot rim protector in Walker Kessler.
I thought you were going to say Kyle Filipowski.
And then coming off the bench is Kyle Filipowski and Bryce Sensabaugh and Isaiah Collier.
No.
You're ready to go.
I get it. Listen.
You are ready to go.
I love it because the hypotheticals are just as fun for me to see this thing kind of play out the way it has. So, yeah, I don't know. The biggest thing for me is, it was a great game for Richie Saunders. They don't care. They lose at Kansas. They've lost 2 in a row now, and it doesn't get any easier. They got a tough road to hoe the next little bit. So, right back at it, and they have a ton. They've got a ton of great teams they still have to face off against. I mean, you think about what this conference does, and they've been able to kind of navigate that, and kind of defy the odds over the last few years. And now they're expected to be beating the teams that are in front of them every. You got to play number 8 Houston at home this coming weekend, right?
Yeah.
You go to Oklahoma State between that for that Wednesday matchup. So this is a tough one because then they go Houston, then they go down to Waco for Baylor, Colorado, and then they return the trip to Arizona, and then they have to face Iowa State, who's right now I think a number 1 or 2 seed.
Oh yeah, they're 7th in the country. They're a 2 seed.
It's wild to think who they have to face off.
UCF's
against.
good this year.
UCF
West
is
Virginia at West Virginia. The Mountaineers are good this year.
Is Bob Huggins still there?
He's lurking in the shadows. He's not running the program, but he is there.
No. He's not
he's trying to run for office or something.
He'd probably win it.
Politics.
Everyone's he's like, forget all those DUIs. All right, I'm talking about policy.
Well, if he's going to politics, he'll fit right in.
All right, let's kick the program off here officially. There's a lot going on, of course. I'm sporting my first bit of Seahawk gear for the week. Super Bowl week. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Oh, really?
What are you guys doing? What's happening with your teams? Yeah, see? Now Annapolis has
look at this guy. Look at the bully
now
over
Annapolis has the answer about. I was like, who are you cheering for this week? And he's like, it's a lose-lose. But now it's a real.
Oh shucks, what a great story the Seahawks are.
Yeah.
And then it's Super Bowl week. He's like, you guys, your team's sitting at home while my team's in the Super Bowl.
I told you, I am fully aware of the fact.
What a time to flex.
I'm fully aware of the fact that as a Seahawks fan, this still feels like a lame Super Bowl a little bit. Did I say that out loud?
Is everybody listening into this game? How do you feel about Patriots Seahawks? I'm curious.
Obviously, the 12 years ago they faced off against one another. That was a big deal. But, I know Sam Darnold's a big story. Drake May could be on the rise, but these guys are in the Super Bowl against all odds, right? That's the point. So
it's been a while since we haven't had, and I know Drake May is a rising star, and Sam Darnold's a great story, but every year, and we can get into this later on, I probably don't want to get too deep in this, but there is a big-name quarterback in the Super Bowl. Last year, you had Jalen Hurts versus Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
Before that was Patrick Mahomes versus
Jalen Hurts?
Oh.
What? Who are you talking
Mr.
about?
Irrelevant.
Oh, Purdy.
Yeah, but everybody knows who Brock Purdy is because of these great stories.
Yes.
Every year it's been Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow or Matthew Stafford or Tom Brady. Those days might be over. So who's the new guard? Who are the new quarterbacks? And I don't know if this group of quarterbacks, maybe it's just the newness of it or the stories, but I don't know that the star power is there that we've had in previous Super Bowls, but the quality of play and the storylines are there. And so is that enough to drive interest and get people excited about this game?
We'll talk more about the Super Bowl coming up here and, of course, throughout the week as we get you ready. Let's jump in, though, right here. We've got to kick the show off officially here so that Alex Annapolis doesn't have to have his finger hover over that one button for the last 4 minutes. Sorry, bro. Let's get it going here. Speaking of star-studded, let's get to the All-Star game. And whether or not there were actual snubs in the All-Star lineups, we'll see. Let's jump in right here with the cut, top of the program.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, so the NBA All-Star rosters are now rolled out. It's kind of a tough one because LeBron makes his 22nd straight All-Star game. At what point do you look and you go, there's the Lifetime Achievement Awards, the Honorary Oscar, That feels a little bit like this, right?
Uh-huh.
It's not that I'm not. Listen, LeBron James is the most important player of his era. Honestly, like, think about what we've gone through with this guy. Think about how much he's impacted the game. Think about how much that guy is a brand more than any singular person has been in a long, long, long time in sports. But your Western Conference All-Star matchup is, it's interesting because I think people look and they go, all right, and LeBron got a cajillion votes. And I'm not saying that there are Jazz players that should replace LeBron James. I don't think Keyonte George is there yet. I don't think you replace LeBron James with him.
What about Lauri?
Lauri is great. But again, I'm having a hard time saying put him in over him, right? Look, Chet Holmgren made it the All-Star game, man. That's awesome. I'm glad for that guy. I don't think that there was necessarily a snub. You know what I mean? Like, this doesn't feel like a snub to me for these players. I thought it was interesting that Kawhi Leonard wasn't on the All-Star roster. Should he be upset about that? Or has he not played enough for him to feel good about whether or not?
That's the question.
Yeah.
So if you start digging into Lauri Markkanen, he's 27.7 rebounds per game. How do you keep a guy off the All-Star roster that's got 27 points and 7 rebounds per game? Who else matches that?
And maybe it's because, not that there was a requirement on how much.
It's two things. Number one, the Jazz have 15 wins.
It's the market that he's in.
Okay.
Yeah?
It's not market. It's the wins, and it's missing games. He's missed 13 games this year.
Okay.
And you add that with the record. Look, the teams with losing records are not going to get All-Stars picked. You can make the case that the guy has bloated numbers because he's playing on a bad team. That's just how it works. Guess what? The Thunder got 2 All-Stars in. Did Chet Holmgren have better numbers? And is Chet Holmgren right now better than Lauri Markkanen? Absolutely not.
No.
But the Thunder are the NBA champions, and they have been absolutely dominant. I'm surprised Jalen Williams didn't get in. That's how good the Thunder have been this year. So it's always been that way. The Jazz, you talk about market size, whatever. I disagree with that because back in 2021-22, when the Jazz had the best record in the NBA that year, they had 3.
Oh, yeah, it was 3.
They had
that's right.
Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, and Mike Conley made his first All-Star game.
That's right. But I will say, like, especially
they reward winners.
And I think that the record, like, even though there are teams out there who, look, Luka is on a, right now in the playoff hunt, in the playoff mix Lakers team. Steph Curry, it's hard to keep him off the list. SGA is an obvious choice. Nikola Jokic is the best player probably on both of these rosters. Victor Wembanyama has his own. Think about the guys who are on this reserve list. Anthony Edwards, Jamal Murray, Chet Holmgren, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker. Like, stop me if you heard anybody in that list that you think shouldn't have made it. That's crazy. But LeBron makes his 22nd All-Star game of his career. And we'll see. I think we'll see some of these guys. You'll see a couple of those names probably say, I don't know, maybe a couple of those guys don't end up going.
Injury replacement.
That happens, right?
So Kawhi Leonard, 27.7 points per game, 6 rebounds. The Clippers have been on like a 16-3 tear.
Yeah, they're doing well right now.
Kawhi should have made the All-Star game.
How many games has he missed?
Did you know 27.7 is a career high?
Now that's wild. Because I think in my head he would have had a 30.1 year.
He's averaging 50% from the field, 40% from 3, and 90% from the free throw line.
He's one of those guys.
94% free throw shooter.
So of all the 2 that were left off that average 27 points a game, Kawhi probably should have gotten the nod before Lauri would.
Yeah, because the Clippers have more wins and they're in a better spot right now. Any idea why somebody might punish Kawhi Leonard for something?
The Steve Ballmer
Any
gate?
reason why the NBA might want to send a message?
What was that charity? It was like SaveTheTrees.org or whatever it was.
Something like that.
Laundering.
Is Kawhi being punished?
If we're punishing Bill Belichick out of the Hall of Fame, why not? You know what I mean? It's not like he was accused of betting.
It's the aspiration no-show
Oh, that's
controversy.
That's what it was.
$28 million.
Yeah.
that money was funneled to Leonard.
No, but
through the aspiration.
Well, because he was their spokesperson. He did a great job. Steve Ballmer is on the board on that group, and suddenly it went under. What? It's crazy. So the All-Star game, I don't know. I mean, think about how star-studded that is, though. Luka, Steph, SGA, Nikola Jokic, and Victor Wembanyama. What a starting lineup. I mean, that's a great mix of some young dudes in Wembanyama and SGA who are, I mean, Wembanyama obviously way young. SGA's an MVP now, but he's got his whole career ahead of him still, right? I mean, that's the way you look at him. Steph is on his way out. I'm not saying that to be mean. Jokic, I don't know how long Nikola Jokic. It seems like Nikola Jokic is going to retire because he's sick of basketball at some point, right? He'll just walk away and be like, yeah, race my horses. Should be fine. But the comp between LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard is pretty stark. So LeBron is 21.5 a game, and Kawhi is 27.7. He outduels him in rebounds, or in points, rebounds. LeBron's got him on assists, but I mean the defensive prowess from Kawhi is obviously huge. But he's shooting almost 40% from three, and he's shooting 92% from the line. And LeBron is 32. He's his lowest in his career right now, 32% from the three.
Yeah.
So
LeBron didn't deserve the 22nd All-Star invitation he got. It's just true. It was a Lifetime Achievement Award.
It's a TV game also. Kawhi's not
right.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Kawhi's not super dynamic on the camera.
You're being kind.
So,
and honestly, Kawhi probably doesn't even care to be there.
He wouldn't if he gets the nod for the injury replacement. He'd be like, actually, I'm good. If he rejects
it's just more time for him to go work for Aspiration.
Oh yeah, he's got some stuff he's got to do during the All-Star break for him. Some appearances,
some loose ends.
Come on. Oh my gosh, I don't know. Is it a punishment thing? I don't know. Who knows?
It's just strange that he got overlooked like that, and I don't know. Throwing it out there, you can make up your own mind. We all love conspiracy theories.
Do you like the starters? He's Tyrese Maxey, Jalen Brunson, Cade Cunningham, Jaylen Brown, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Any changes there?
Yeah, Michael Porter Jr. has been phenomenal. 25.6 points per game, but again, the Nets suck, and so you're going to get punished for that.
So he's left off.
So
all the way.
Unfortunately, Joel Embiid, 26.2 points per game, but he doesn't play every night, and the Sixers have been really disappointing. Yeah. So I'm fine with that too. So there's not a glaring snub in the East, I don't think. You look at that list, and it's pretty solid.
Yeah.
I can't poke a hole in it too much, but I think obviously Kawhi Leonard in the West is pretty glaring.
Just based off of their All-Stars, at a glance, who's the best conference from an All-Star
It's
perspective?
the West. It's not even close.
Right?
Yeah, it's not even close.
Or
Alperen Sengun got left off the list.
That's pretty crazy.
He's a great player.
Yeah.
Lauri Markkanen, great player, 27 points per game. Not good enough to make the All-Star team.
Yeah,
it's hard.
So the Thunder would have had – you think they should have had a third player in then?
I think you could make – well, Jalen Williams was hurt a good
Right.
chunk of the year, so that's why he didn't play enough games.
You got to play.
If he had played full games, I think there absolutely would have been that discussion. James Harden's another name in the West that didn't make it. So
yeah,
there's a lot of guys that have a case.
You're seeing a shift.
I was happy to see Jamal Murray make it finally for the first time.
So this is his first one, right? And I think everybody was kind of waiting for that to happen, right? Where they go, he's doing enough. And he's on a team that does always win. Yeah. I mean, he was left off despite the fact that they were winning. His thing is he was always the second best player on that team.
Yeah.
And so everybody looks and goes, by comparison, oh yeah, he doesn't need to be there. But he should. And I'm glad. I'm glad that he made it. He's a good player. Devin Booker, yeah. Kevin Durant, does that feel like a little bit of a nod too?
No, he definitely deserves to be on. He's been great this year. But is Sengun more deserving than Durant?
That's what I'm saying. Is like
you can have that conversation.
Yes, you can have a lot of those, and the snubs. You just have to do if you're going to kick Kevin Durant off of the All-Star list. You got to do 20 or 30% more than you're doing.
Right.
If you're gonna kick LeBron off of the page. Even Kawhi Leonard, who's a well-known entity as a very, very good player, can't replace LeBron James. And I don't think you're going to. If he keeps it going, if he even tries for next year, and tries to figure it out and wants to play again and can't give it up. He's like the skinniest he's ever been right now, right? He's like, what did he say? Stop drinking the booze? And he's like, he's off the sauce, and so he's been prepping himself in the offseason. He spends like $4 million just on the personal training stuff.
Yep.
That's why he's able to do it. Listen, just by being the best 41-year-old in the history of the game, that deserves a little bit of a nod, right? I mean, we're not going to leave. If Tom Brady was having half the production or not half, but 2/3 of the production he normally got, we would never be sad about him being put on an All-Pro list or on a Pro Bowl is not really a thing anymore. But you see what I'm saying? Like, you would have always gone, yeah, Tom Brady deserves it. He deserves it. Because he's 45 doing what he was doing, right? So you give him the nod because they have meant more to the game. It is a Lifetime Achievement Award. It's fine. Man. All right, we're going to take a break. We've got more around the corner. We've got tons to talk about here still. We're going to jump into a couple things here. We've got some more hot Super Bowl talk to bring to you. It's just going to be a full Bad Bunny rundown of what he's going to be playing during the halftime show.
Can't wait.
Hey, there are alternatives you can have to watch the game.
Yeah, you can go get a snack. Like, who cares? Why don't we? We'll get into it.
I love it.
But I'll share my hot take.
I love it. Isn't there like a puppy bowl? Isn't somebody still doing that? Doesn't PetSmart do that over on one of the pet channels?
You have options. If you don't want to watch Bad Bunny, don't get mad about Bad Bunny. You have other options.
JJ says it like we do. Like, well, if you don't like Bad Bunny, if you don't appreciate what the music is that Bad Bunny provides.
Should we read Bad Bunny lyrics over the radio?
No, you cannot.
I can bleep them out.
If it's in another language, does the FCC get mad at us?
What if I do it with a British accent?
The Spanish in a British accent, or they say or do you?
There's got to be an English translation.
So Napolis and I translate it for you, and then you read it off, and it's just a full, a minute-long beep of what Bad Bunny. Yeah, he doesn't have the cleanest lyrics. So, all right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk a little bit more Super Bowl. We'll talk tons. We got a Mammoth game tonight over here at Delta Center. They need these last two before the Olympic break. They lost to Dallas over the weekend. Kyler Yamamoto's playing awesome hockey, and it seems like everybody else is kind of struggling a little bit, trying to find that identity still, and they've lost 2 in a row. We'll get to all that, much more here. It is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Your home for the best coverage of the Jazz, Utes, and Cougars is right here on the Zone. This is JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, you know what that music means. Time for us to get ready for. Can we say we don't have to say the big game, do we? No,
I think we do. I think we have to be careful.
This segment's not sponsored. We just have to say we can say Super Bowl all we want because it's not sponsored.
Okay.
I get nerve-wracked about it. I do. I get a little bit nervous about it. Whether or not we can say Super Bowl anymore. We can. Come on. All right, so here's the deal. By the way, coming up at the 4 o'clock hour, Jerry Palm's going to join us. Bracket out today of his bracketology is pretty awesome for you local teams here. Got Utah Valley, and BYU in the same side of the bracket.
Nice.
Oh yeah, and and they have him as a third. I think they have UVU. He's got UVU as a 13 seed.
Yeah,
13 over 4 is not crazy.
They have a tremendous net ranking. Their net ranking's in the top 100. It was as high as in the low 50s earlier this year.
But you see what I'm saying? Like a 13-4 is not wild.
No, it happens.
Yes. And then to have BYU and UVU facing off in the NCAA tournament would be awesome.
Oh, my gosh.
That'd be hilarious.
Just play it at the UCCU Center. No need to go to Buffalo to play that game.
Oh. All right.
Can you imagine BYU versus UVU in Buffalo at 10 a.m.?
Oh.
What are we doing here?
These Wolverine fans travel. You watch, Mike. You'll see the stands just peppered with green and black. I don't know if these BYU fans are going to be there at this game. Who knows? So we'll talk to Jerry Palm coming up at the top of the 4 o'clock hour here. Let's talk some Super Bowl, though, first. Lots going on this week as you get ready for the Super Bowl. You had to get through this last week, right? And now we're officially there. This Sunday, February 8th, it's going to be the real deal. Super Bowl 60. What's crazy is I remember Super Bowl 20. Bears-Patriots. That was the very first memory that I had. Now, part of it was because we recorded it, on the VHS. Remember this?
Yeah.
You got to hit record and play at the same time. And my mom my mom was upset because we accidentally recorded over Mr. Mom, starring Michael Keaton.
Good movie.
Do you remember these things that would happen back in the day? These are things that my kids can't comprehend.
Oh, there was just absolute horror when something got recorded over on a VHS tape.
Did you record over Mr. Mom?
There were probably domestic disputes over
We will never
VHS
get it back.
tapes getting recorded over.
There's no other way to watch Mr. Mom ever again. That was our one shot. Because that was it. It's like
Buying it would cost $25.99.
And heaven forbid you
Who
go.
had $25.99 in 1985 for a VHS?
Who's going to rent it anyway?
Right.
You go to the rental place and you go, Blockbusters, and you're not going to rent it for $6 either. We had it recorded. What was crazy was you go back and watch those and then you'd see the commercials. The commercials tell as much about the day you're living in as any of the movies. So we recorded over Mr. Mom with Super Bowl 20. We are 40 years removed from that. So that's pretty crazy.
Wow.
So Super Bowl 60, Seahawks Patriots, and I'm going to be honest. Even as a Seahawks fan, you may see me with my game day polo on right now. But if you're streaming this thing on the YouTube. But I'm telling you, I even know that this sounds this thing better be good because I'm not excited about this matchup. It feels like these two teams got there prematurely. Does that seem right? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like the vibe. I know they won all the games.
Basically, both in 2-year rebuilds, and here they are.
I know they both got there winning the games that were in front of them, and they did great.
And they're very well built
But
as far as roster construction.
Yes, and the Seahawks did it right with that's what's gotten them there before. An amazing defense. You know what I mean? Like that makes a difference. But it just feels like, I don't know. I guess there's not a better matchup. Honestly, like the Seahawks beating the Rams, that was huge because that team probably was going to win the Super Bowl if the Seahawks didn't get there and win it themselves.
Let me throw this out to you since you're bringing this up, feeling like this isn't the Super Bowl matchup that we wanted.
I'm a Seahawks fan,
weird.
and I feel like that myself.
Based on who made the playoffs, what matchup would that have been that would have moved the needle?
Like what did the powers that be want on paper?
What did NBC want in Super Bowl 60 based on who made the playoffs?
I think that a Rams-Bills Super Bowl would have been really fun.
I think you nailed it.
You think so? Like
Yeah,
out of the list of the teams that are there.
I do. I think that Josh Allen and the Bills finally breaking through. Josh Allen is that guy that everyone's very familiar with. It feels like it was time for the Bills to finally get there. And then on the other side, Rams, it's the LA team. You're going to have that draw, and Matthew Stafford and Puka has star. That team, there's a lot of star power with that team.
Yes.
And
they're exciting
anytime
to watch,
you get
yeah.
LA in the Super Bowl and you get a Josh Allen story, I think that probably would have been exactly what everybody on that side of things would have wanted.
Here's why it also would have worked. Because you have last year's MVP and likely this year's MVP.
Right.
The Super Bowl quarterback.
Which means you would have had the best players in
Yes.
the best game.
Now, again, this sounds weird because it sounds like we're saying that the NFL didn't get it right because these teams just won the games.
That's the great thing about it is it doesn't matter. You don't get it right. It plays out on the field. The best teams get there.
Right.
And you have to give the Seahawks and the Patriots credit. The Seahawks were pretty dominant. Even that game in the NFC Championship game, the Rams scored late and they pushed it, but was there ever really a doubt in that game? Did you feel like the Seahawks were in trouble?
Oh, I was doubting the entire freaking time. Are you kidding? That
Well, then
fourth
let's
and
ask
four.
the Rams fan. How confident were you the Rams were going to win that game? Did any point in Annapolis did you feel like the Rams were going to win that game?
I
Fourth
did.
and four.
When
Fourth
they
and
got
four.
to the fourth and goal inside of the red zone
Okay.
Yeah.
in the fourth quarter,
Okay.
and then they ended up not converting.
Wait, they didn't? I'm just kidding.
So the game before that, the Seahawks beat the 49ers 41-6. So they had to sweat out that last drive. Okay.
They've been
The
very
Seahawks were dominant.
good. They've been very good.
They were the number 1 seed, and the number 1 seed is supposed to get to the Super Bowl. That's how it's designed.
Yeah.
The Patriots were the number 2 seed. They had the same record as the Denver Broncos, who had the number 1 seed. The Broncos are in the same category as the Patriots. A team in a rebuild that has a young quarterback that's finally breaking through with a great defense. The Patriots and the Broncos are like looking in the mirror. Whether it was the Broncos or the Patriots, it's the same situation. It's basically the same team.
Yeah.
Young quarterback, great defense.
I just wonder, too.
But star power, intriguing storylines. Your intriguing storyline here is the shucks Sam Darnold story. The Patriots is like, well, this isn't the same Patriots we saw before, but they're back? Question mark. It just doesn't have that wow factor that some Super Bowls have had. And no Tom Brady and no Patrick Mahomes.
I don't know. Again, this sounds weird saying
no Travis Kelce.
But a better matchup on paper, I think, would have been Bills-Rams.
No Taylor Swift.
But the Bills have a garbage defense, too, by the way.
That's why they didn't make the Super Bowl.
Right. I mean,
that and turnovers.
I was going to say,
they did not take care of the football, and their defense had holes.
Josh Allen is next year for Josh Allen, if they don't make it there again, he's going to be a giant disappointment and a big choker. You know what I mean? That'll be his vibe. I'm trying to think who that'd be comparable to in other sports even. Like that team that's really good, but they never get it done, or that player that's exceptional that never gets it done. That might be what Josh Allen ends up being saddled with. So, Super Bowl 60. This is going to be a fun one because it's going to be. Hey, when do you leave this week? By the way,
Friday morning.
So you're going out Friday morning.
Yep.
And we'll get you live from the Bay Area, right?
Yep, I'll be on the show Friday.
So we'll still hang out and talk about all these things. So in the end, obviously, people start talking about Patriots versus Seahawks 1.0 that happened in 2014. And again, that game
that had star power.
Any Tom Brady game, again, that was Marshawn Lynch, Tom Brady,
Russell Wilson
when he was good, right?
Bobby Wagner.
Yep. Oh man, see
Julian Edelman, Gronk.
Yeah, that's the kind of
Katy
game.
Perry was the halftime show.
Ooh.
Left shark, right shark.
That was that Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Left shark was that? Wow. I
Wasn't
like it. Yeah, I think so.
Am I right?
I'm big. I'm loving it, dude. So the Patriots are going to what number Super Bowl is this for them? This is number
12.
12 for them?
Isn't that crazy?
That is insane.
Yep. This is the third Super Bowl they've made without Tom Brady and Belichick.
I mean,
they made it in 80. The Super Bowl you're talking about,
85,
Super Bowl 20 against the Bears when they
lost 42-10 in that game.
That Patriots team might have been the worst team to ever make a Super Bowl. And then they made it one year under Bill Parcells when they played Brett Favre and the Packers.
We know how that went.
Yeah, we know how that went. And then the rest of the Super Bowls, though, were all Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. And they went to a total of 9.
So they went to a total of 9. They won 6 of those 9. He won another one
with the
down in Tampa with Gronk.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah, I mean it's great. It's awesome.
9 in 20 years. That's amazing.
Okay, now I will say this. I had somebody text me and they said, so Jackson Smith-Njigba is not a star power name. He's not a big name. Listen, he's the best wide receiver in this game.
Football fans know who he is. Does the casual person tuning into the Super Bowl know who he is? JSN
is a guy that's going to take a couple more years of this type of a season for you to wrap your head around whether or not he's, star power. Everybody knows Sam Darnold is not superstar power. You know why? Because that's part of what the story is.
Where's the endorsements? Where's the commercials on TV?
Right.
That's what we're talking about, those kind of people.
Kenneth Walker III, great. I mean, he got him to the Super Bowl in a lot of ways. He was phenomenal. But again, he's the 7th best running back in the in the NFC or in the league.
Right, not a Pro Bowler, right? I don't think he is.
So in that sense, you have the 3 biggest names on this roster are Sam Darnold, Jackson Smith-Njigba, and Kenneth Walker. And then you have Cooper Kupp, who everybody goes, oh, yeah, I forgot he was on that team. Right?
Yeah.
You can't sleep on Rashid Shaheed. That's a big name. But again, a specialist. Right? Yeah. So all of these things are really cool to watch these things. But and their defense, the Seahawks defense, is the better part of all their 3 phases. So whether or not you think that's star power or not, the defense is the thing that's gotten them there. And Sam Darnold's a great story. But again, I will recognize that these are probably not the teams that not only did people not think that they would match up against one another, but They are there, and they're defying the odds, man. And Drake May, we haven't said a dang word about that guy. And partly it's because we're not used to seeing Drake May anywhere near this type of a game.
It's just early.
It's way too early. But they're in the Super Bowl, man. He could get his first Super Bowl win. Sam Darnold could win the Super Bowl as a guy who people wrote off. That's a great story. It's awesome. All right. We'll take a break. We got more Super Bowl, of course, to talk about this week, so we'll get into a bunch of that. But when we come back to the program, guess what we have around the corner? Got our weekend warriors, people who won the weekend. Yeah, sports are still going on, even though football wasn't took a back seat. So we'll inform you of who our weekend warriors were for this weekend. We got tons more on the program. Stick with us. 97.5 KSL Sports Zone.
Accessing.
When TV and radio collide.
Love it.
This is what you get. You're listening to JJ and Alex.
Don't touch that dial.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. JJ and Alex, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Happy Monday to you. Thanks for being a part of the program today. Jazz played listen, was that the best defensive effort we've seen in a minute? Will Hardy thought so, right?
Yeah, I thought Isaiah Collier was tremendous. I thought he was a bulldog in the backcourt, forced some turnovers, made some things happen. Yeah, defensively, they played pretty well, and I think they made the Raptors look bad on several occasions. I liked the way they played defensively in that game.
But you get the loss, but you didn't give up 140 points, JJ. That was the key to it.
That's a win.
That was big for them. I will say too, though, it's wild to think that Keyonte George being out makes as much of a difference, or sometimes even more maybe, than Lauri Markkanen being out.
Well, you're out. You don't have your point guard,
right? And so and he's 20. He's 25 a game almost.
Isaiah Collier stepped up. He especially
well.
with scoring.
Yes,
he played both sides of the court. I don't think that was the issue for them yesterday. I just think they just didn't have enough offense, and it's obvious. Like they just didn't have the roster that the Raptors have. The Raptors have an all-star in Scotty Barnes, and then Brandon Ingram is playing at that level. He was one of those snubs from the All-Star game this year.
Good to see Nurk back in the rotation. That guy plays his butt off, doesn't he?
And he's a great passer.
Yes,
offensively,
he
does some really good things.
He knows the floor. I've come to like that guy a ton this year.
Yeah, I have too.
So big fan of him. Hey, it's our weekend warriors. People who won the weekend here for us. Speaking of teams who. Oh, man, on the defensive side of things for this Utah Mammoth team, they love giving up an early goal, don't they? And it just seems like every game that they've had over the past little bit, it's a 1-0 within 1 or 2 minutes. And those first couple of minutes of every period, including the very front end of the start of the game, are crucial. And when Dallas went up 1-0 and then 2-0, you looked at it and you went, okay. But I'll tell you who's had a crazy run. The last 2 games, both losses, unfortunately. And so that kind of overshadows his performance. But Kyler Yamamoto, with another 2-goal game, brought it to an even 2-2 before Dallas ended up they brought it. It was 3-1. He added the second one, and then the rest of the game was just a scramble. But Kyler Yamamoto, 4 goals in the last 2 games, including last week. He's just having a heck of a run. Here's what it sounded like.
Paterka back for Yamamoto. He shoots and scores! Hello, Moto! Mammoth on the board. And Kyler Yamamoto stays sizzling hot. Paterka in front, Yamamoto scores! How hot is Kyler Yamamoto? Mammoth back within 1. 13-19 to go in the third. It's his 4th goal in 2 games. He's got both for the Mountain Blue tonight. And once again, it was J.J. Paterka who set him up.
3-2. They take the loss after the historic meltdown loss against Carolina the game previous. So they've lost 2 in a row. They have 2 games at home coming up here before the Olympic break. I'm confident they can win both of these games at home here. In fact, it's kind of required that you beat Vancouver tonight, the worst team in hockey.
The way the last 2 have gone, got to finish strong here before the break.
So a couple of if they get a couple of wins here and escape with 4 points just before the break, because the break will happen and You're going to get your best players back. I mean, Gunther played against Dallas, but
Wasn't 100%.
it was not 100%. And so I think getting Logan Cooley back, I think we're expecting him back. Obviously, we're making guesses here, but I think that's what the wisdom is that he's going to be finally coming back from that long injury. So when he comes back after the break, after a couple weeks of Olympic hockey, what's this team going to look like? And then it's on. Then the push is on, man. And if this team makes a move at the trade deadline, which I think Travis Yost brought it up last week, Cole Bagley's talked about it, like they might get aggressive. They certainly have the cap space to be able to do it.
There's some big names out there that could be on the move.
So I'm interested to see how aggressive they get, or if they stay pat and just buckle down and make a push, because they're playing some really, really good hockey. Last couple games, unfortunately, not very good, or at least losses. I mean, that Dallas team is, legitimately a Stanley Cup contender. So
Top 3 in the NHL. There's no doubt about it.
It's a tough team. Hey, how about golf being back? Not just this indoor stuff either. Justin Rose firing it up at Torrey Pines this weekend. This guy is like one of the older dudes out there, and yet Justin Rose clobbered the entire field, had a record go on the course there at Torrey Pines, and here's what it sounded like for him to get the W.
Justin Rose in a runaway at Torrey Pines.
Thank you. Well done. Thank you very much. Good job, you guys. Thank you.
It was a jam-packed leaderboard, second down to fifth. It was just like everybody was 16, 15, 14. Tons of guys at 16, 15, 14 under. Justin Rose won the tournament. Second place is 16 under. He won at 23 under. It's a scoring record at the course. A great start to the year for him, and a guy who kind of struggled last year a little bit, and obviously got close to some majors, but didn't end up getting that win. So
one of the underrated golfers of this generation. He doesn't get talked about enough. 13 wins on tour. Won the 2013 U.S. Open.
Yeah.
And how many times has he finished second or third in a major?
Yeah, including last year.
Right.
And 41 years old to start off the season with the tournament record is pretty phenomenal. You don't see people winning, like Scotty Scheffler will every once in a while win a tournament like this by 6 or 7 strokes. Tiger Woods, this is what he did back in the day, like
right.
at the height of his powers. He'd win the entire tournament by 7, 8, 10 strokes sometimes. But this one was good for Justin Rose. And then finally, the battle between Kansas and BYU, Darren Peterson versus A.J. DeBonsa. Here's what it sounded like. Darren Peterson taking over that first half.
Peterson jams it. Game, and he gets a lot of defensive attention, which opens up things for his teammates.
Peterson averaging 21.6.
The bucket against Kevaketa.
A miss for Saunders on a 3. Here's Peterson. Got it. The game. Peterson knocks another one away. Second time he's done that.
Boy, talk about a two-way player. He has been active in every.
And they could be the top 4 picks in the draft.
I think they will be.
Yeah. And they're all playing at an All-America level. Right face guarding Peterson. Peterson gets a little space and knocks it down. Trey White, the assist.
Big win for Kansas. BYU doing their second half thing, coming back, making it a game, and coming up pretty short on this one. I mean, Kansas was really, really good this past weekend, and they were up by 15. It seemed like from the very get-go, 20 by the half, and then that was too much to overcome in the second half for BYU. Richie Saunders, though, how about the 33 points and 10 rebounds for the kid?
Well, he really stepped up, a career night for him, but they just don't have enough depth right now. And it was glaring on Saturday. You go into a hostile environment like that, you got to have other guys step up. They had guys step up in the Arizona game. It was just too late, and they had the chance to win it, and they didn't get it done. Kansas felt different. It just felt like you're leaning on these top 3 guys way too much, and this is not going to help BYU reach their goals this year. And you got to have somebody step up at some point. I know that there's been injuries. I get the story. I understand the situation. But they've got to have someone else other than the big 3 step up. It doesn't need to be much. It's just got to be consistent.
My question for you is, regarding like having to have all 3 all on a night. When you get to the tournament,
what other team in the Big 12 has to have that?
You can sneak the first, maybe a second round game if 2 out of the 3 are playing really, really phenomenally. But to make a real run, And I don't know if this is possible. You got to have all three having phenomenal games. You don't get to the Final Four playing like this. No. And I know those are people's expectations. Is like, yeah, but they're not there.
You've seen them against some of the best teams in the country right now. You've seen them against Texas Tech and Arizona, and I'll throw Kansas in there when they're healthy and ready to go. And you see the gap. You see there's this glaring weakness of depth. And it's got to get resolved. Now, I think AJ is going to get better as the season goes along. The big three are going to continue to do what they do. But and Richie talked about it after the game. He's like, we're gonna turn that corner just like we did last year. We're gonna figure it out. But who's it gonna be? Who's gonna step up? Who's capable of producing more on a regular basis? Because it can't just be the big three every night. There's got to be somebody else step up.
All right. Let's take a break. We'll come back. Speaking of basketball, Jerry Palm, will ask him some of these questions. Does BYU have what it takes to make a deep run in the NCAA tournament? Currently on a 2-game losing streak here. How do they get this one back, and where do some of these teams stand? Plus, lots of representation out of the state of Utah on this latest big board of Jerry Palm's bracketology. So we'll come back. We'll talk with Jerry next, right here, 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest name.
You're locked into JJ and Alex. With the insight and analysis on the teams you can't live without. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Oh, I forgot to send you a video over the weekend, JJ.
What did you got?
It was a mashup of...
I'm a sucker for mashups.
I know, and especially this one was like Michael McDonald mixed with like some, it was very much in our era. It was like an alternative band of some kind. I want to say it was like this dude on stage mashed up like Pearl Jam with Michael McDonald, and it actually worked. I didn't know how, but it worked. And I was like, this is right up my alley, man.
Michael McDonald, Metallica?
I mean, you could probably do it. You could probably
there's no doubt.
Hey, this Wednesday is a Win Ticket Wednesday right here on the KSL Sports Zone. All you have to do is listen all day long, and you get yourself involved with a phone call, and then you get yourself the possibility to win some tickets. Every show, all day long, you can listen in, and you can win tickets. This week it is to Brian Regan at the Delta Center. Coming, how about Valentine's Day? Saturday, Valentine's Day, February 14th in 2026. Over across the street here at Delta Center. Get your tickets today at SeatGeek.com, or you can just win those tickets all day long on the KSL Sports Zone. All right, joining us on the program right now, kicking off the hour. It's The Cut, top of the program. Love having him on the show. We get him. Jerry Palm, of course, bracketology expert of college basketball. Let's kick it off right here.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Join us on the program right now. You can find him right there, palmbrackets.com. You can get the latest. And this Monday's edition features a lot of teams here from the state of Utah. Jerry Palm joining us on the program. Jerry, thanks for being with us.
Oh, thanks for having me on.
We were just staring at this one, and obviously it's all about trends and which teams are trending which direction. Utah State has had a phenomenal year so far this year, and they're trending up again, I think, after that big win over San Diego State over the weekend. You've got Utah Valley right now as a possible 13th seed. People who are graduates of UVU are big fans of seeing the Wolverines there. And then BYU's going the other direction right now. You've got them listed as a 5 seed here. Let's start with BYU. 2 losses in a row. Of course, very, very good teams are losing against, but they seem like you got to figure some things out here.
Well, yeah, I suppose. I mean, there's no real shame in losing at Kansas, even with Peterson having to sit out the second half. It's, that's just a tough place to win. So I don't know that I'd be overly concerned if I'm a BYU fan. Obviously, you want to win all of them, and it's not a realistic expectation. It's been a long time since anybody did that. But, their schedule is they're going to have Houston coming in. They're going to have Iowa State coming in. They got to go to Arizona. So, there's some tough games left on the schedule. The only thing for me that I think is holding them back a little bit is their best win is Clemson.
Yeah.
And, so they've had some chances. Only Arizona at home, and almost got that one. All the others have been away from home, but they're going to get Houston at home, Iowa State at home, Texas Tech at home, UCF at home. So they're going to get a chance to pick up some quality wins in the league on their home floor. And it really is going to behoove them if they want to get a really good seed in this tournament and some juice from the committee to take care of the business on your home court.
Well, the opportunities are clearly there for BYU, and if they're able to take advantage of that, if they can start getting more contributions from guys outside of their big three, and they get hot and get a win against a Houston, maybe they upset Arizona on the road, how high can they climb? What do you see as their ceiling when it comes to seeding based on what's left of the schedule and what they've done with their resume? Well,
they've got 4 losses now. If they won out the rest of the way, picking up a lot of good wins on the way, they could be a 1. That's probably not realistic.
Right.
I mean, they're a good team, and they've got some great players. So, if they get that kind of hot, they're going to probably deserve a 1 if they get that kind of hot. But I think more realistically, a 2 or a 3 kind of a seed, with a strong finish down the stretch here is certainly a possibility.
As you watch these teams kind of play out, and you see these, the Big 12 is one of those conferences that, could kind of eat its own a little bit. When you're watching these games, and we got to see Arizona come into Provo and get a win there down at the Marriott Center, they just feel like the best team in basketball right now. Is that about where you kind of picture them being? And who are some other teams that you look at and you go, no, they deserve a little bit more respect than they might be getting?
Well, I mean, certainly Arizona has done it. They're undefeated still, against a great schedule, and with more great games coming up. So, there's no real case for anyone else as the best team right now. But there are a lot of other, obviously, great teams. You've got Duke, Michigan, Iowa State's having a great year. Illinois is coming on strong. Gonzaga's always there. I wouldn't rule out Purdue, even though they had a little slump. This is just a season where, did I say Michigan? Michigan.
Yes.
And Michigan State. It's the top of the Big 12 is loaded. There's not a lot of depth beyond that, but I've been putting 5 or 6 teams from the Big 12 in the top 4 seeds of the bracket, just about every bracket I do, and then 5 from the Big 10 as well. There isn't much room for anyone else. But I'm only putting about 7 or maybe 8 Big 12 teams total. So it's top heavy. The Big 12 is, and that's it's really competitive up there. But not everybody you play is going to be a resume builder. Where the Big 10 and even the ACC have greater depth in terms of the number of potential NCAA tournament quality teams.
That leads me into my next question. How do you rank the top conferences? Because we're watching this Big 12 gauntlet, and BYU's going through it right now. It's just unbelievable at the top. Does the top make up for a little bit of lack of depth, or where do you place the Big 12 in those rankings?
Second. The Big 10, because the Big 10 is also very competitive at the top,
right?
But has greater depth than the Big 12. But those, for me, they're 1 and 2. The ACC has got really good depth, but not a lot of, other than Duke, really high quality, potential national champion looking kind of teams. Like North Carolina's good and Clemson's good, and they've got some good, but they don't have anyone else that really stands out as great. And the SEC, they put 14 in the tournament last year, 2 in the Final Four, one of the best years any conference has ever had. They have come off of that high. They're still going to push for a high number of teams in the tournament, but a single-digit number this year, not 14. But and they still have high quality at the top, though. I mean, it's a league that's going to be really competitive. I don't think I've got a team seeded higher than 3. So, but they're going to own probably the middle of the bracket. And if anybody gets hot, like a Florida or somebody like that, they could push all the way to a 1 seed. There's plenty of time left to do that kind of thing.
Jerry Palm joining us here. Palm Brackets is where you can find his breakdowns. And when you see these, the way that they kind of look here, obviously, like we said, there's a couple of or a few teams here from the state of Utah. Utah State has been one of those teams that is just it's like every year they're consistent. It doesn't even matter the coaching changes, portal stuff. It doesn't really matter. Utah State seems to find themselves right there. What's the strength of this Utah State team that you're seeing them as far? I mean, we've seen them as far up as 7 and 8 in some brackets, but right now at a 10. Where do you think their ceiling is for this team?
Yeah, it's the margin for error could be problematic, but the Mountain West is having a decent year in the sense that they don't have like a ton of teams with triple-digit net ranking. They've got a handful or so, and maybe 6 or 7 that are in the top 100. So when you play those games, even if you lose, you're not really killing yourself. But for Utah State, I mean, the ceiling is, you win all your games, you're in the top half of the bracket easy, the top 25 portion of the bracket, I would think. Just because while they don't have, great teams, the high quad one kind of games in this league, they've got enough quality teams in this league that you can resume build to some extent.
How big was that win against San Diego State for them?
It was.
Saturday?
It was big. I mean, it was at home, right? That was the home game?
Yes.
Yeah, but they were in first place. I mean, San Diego State was in the bracket. I had them in the bracket as an AQ. Well, they're out of the bracket now because they probably need to AQ to win the league tournament if they're going to get in. But, Boise, you can't rule out entirely. New Mexico's got a good chance, to maybe sneak an at-large bid. Utah State certainly in play for an at-large bid. You just have to finish strong because the margin for error, despite the fact that the league is relatively good this year, the margin for error still is not great in terms of trying to be an at-large team.
How much did those 2 losses for Utah State to Grand Canyon and UNLV hurt them? Because I'm curious if they do have a slip-up with those kind of games, just how much they could be punished for those kind of losses.
Well, Grand Canyon, that was a road game. That's considered a quad 1 game.
Yeah.
And so, for now. That doesn't hurt. That one's not so bad. UNLV at home is a bad one because that's not a good team this year. That's on your home floor. That's hard to excuse that, So that's, you can't have any more like that.
Gotcha.
Everybody has a bad day. So, just write that one off, go out and do well the rest of the way. And, that'll be the kind of thing where the committee will look at that and you'll probably end up a seed line down from where they might have put you otherwise. But it's, if that's the only real wart on your resume, they're not talking about leaving you out.
Let me ask you what your thoughts are on, as you watch this thing play out and you dig into all these teams. We follow college football very, very, very closely, and the transfer portal is different between these two sports, obviously, because college basketball has these one and dones that are very unique to that sport. And
right.
When you see how this thing is played out, has the transfer portal affected college basketball as much as it has college football?
Yeah, I think it's different. But yes, I think it's had a big impact because in college basketball, you can just add a guy and have one guy impact your team tremendously because they fill a void. And you're only playing 5 at a time. Football, you've got 80 kids on the roster? You have like 12 realistically that could possibly play on a basketball roster. So you can have greater impact with a smaller number of transfers. And then, where you've got a good team, but you need a guy. And I'm a Purdue guy. So Purdue had a hole at center. So they went out and they got the second leading rebounder in the nation from South Dakota State. He's been a great addition to Purdue. That's what one guy can do in basketball. You can't really make a big impact in football with just 1 or 2 guys.
As you look at the top of the bracket, have you kind of identified based on analytics who you think there are the teams that can win a national championship, and where do you draw the line?
Actually, I think a lot of teams can. Anybody that's a 1 seed, anybody that's a 2 seed, probably anybody that's a 3 seed, is good enough to win the NCAA tournament. It's just you have to play well, but you've got. For example, Purdue again, preseason number 1 for a reason. Now, they've struggled the last 2 weeks, but that's a team that has some experience, and what they don't have is that surefire NBA guy, which most champions have. But they have a preseason for sure first team All-American in Braden Smith. But the teams that win, they've got a guy. Demansa for BYU. Everybody's got a guy, one guy at least, that they can ride in a 6-game tournament. And, those are the teams that are more likely to win because somebody can bail them out when things are going bad. And the top dozen teams in this bracket have got somebody like that.
That's what I was going to ask about some of these individual players. And, obviously BYU with A.J. Debansa is one of those that we've been able to watch closely here. But these singular names that make an impact across these teams that can carry a team, who are the guys that you look at and you go – and because it's all about obviously this last weekend was Darren Peterson. He sits out the second half, but people felt like he won that battle, so to speak. And I'm like, he
outscored Devonta. He only played half the game. I mean, it was 1 point. It was 1 point, but his team won, and that's the main thing is his team won. Duke has got Cam Boozer. It's funny because freshmen this year, it's like Braden Smith was the preseason player of the year, and then all of these really super talented freshmen are taking over college basketball, and you're going to see the Koa Pete at Arizona. Mm-hmm. It seems like all of the really good teams have got a guy like that's a freshman that is really a star player. This has been one of the best freshman classes, I would say, that we've seen in college basketball in a while. All of those guys are capable of carrying a team deep into a tournament, maybe even to a championship. So, which is what I think is going to make this tournament so much fun, because I think it's going to be a little more wide open than it normally is, at least among the teams in, say, the top 16 are all going to have – you're going to look at those teams and you're going to say, yeah, I can see a path for that team all the way to Indianapolis.
Jerry Palm, just palmbrackets.com. That's where you can see all these breakdowns, and nobody does it better. Jerry's out there working his tail off so that we can all make these early assumptions of what the bracket's going to look like, but it can't come early enough for us. We do it as soon as the season's over. And
well, if you're into that kind of thing, I have a tool on my site now at the top of the homepage. It's a team comparison tool. You can compare side by side two teams' resumes.
Oh, nice. I'm at it right now.
If you're into that kind of thing.
Oh, I love it. Oh, my goodness. I'll go down this rabbit hole.
Let's nerd away. This is awesome, Jerry.
Jerry, we appreciate you joining us here, and we'll dip in as soon as when the season starts to kind of come more into focus here and we get closer to that tournament. Thanks again for being on with us, man.
Sure. Anytime. Thanks.
There you go. Jerry Paul. All right. Are you doing the comparison tool already?
I'm there right now.
All right, so
I got BYU versus who? Who do you want to compare?
Give me that Utah Valley matchup that could happen on that side of the bracket.
Got it. Here it comes.
If they've got it. So it's always funny to me to have those. Yeah, the Wolverines right now, the 13 seed in the same bracket as BYU, they would face off against one another in the next round if that were to.
I mean, this
in the
is
second
really
round.
cool. Jerry's got it. You can look it up so it shows. You know what's interesting? Okay, yeah. So, quad 1 wins. BYU has 4.
Mm-hmm.
Clemson, Villanova, Miami, Wisconsin. So this is great because you can see quad 1, quad 2, quad 3,
right,
and quad 4. You told me to throw up Utah Valley.
Yeah,
they've got 2 quad 1 losses. They don't have any of the quad 1 wins. Boise State and San Diego State. Some missed opportunities there. But let me pull up another team. Let's whose else is it? Let's pull up Kansas.
I've got you can pull up Kansas. I've got one of their better matchups here right around the corner, and that's Houston. So let me put up Houston and BYU here on the comp, and
oh man,
that is a tough team. So you've got quad 1 wins for Houston. Oh man, they only have 1 against Arkansas. Does that sound right?
Is that right?
Hold on a minute. How many quad 1 wins does BYU have? Oh no, that's
4.
not right. No, they've got quad 1 wins. They have Texas Tech, Auburn. Oh, no, did they lose to Texas Tech?
Who?
Houston. I thought they lost to Texas Tech. So it's hard for me to read right now. This is my number. This is my
wins are on the left, losses are on the right.
Okay, quad 1 wins. Got Tech, Auburn, TCU, Baylor. Those are their quad 1 wins right now. They lost it. They've already played them twice. That's why I guess it was the one where they were at Texas Tech and lost to them. But when they hosted them at first, they beat them there in Houston. So, yeah, they've already played each other the 2 times. That's why I was, wondering. So, yeah, Texas Tech, Auburn, Baylor, and then also Arkansas. So they have the 5 quad 1 wins to BYU's 4. So there you go.
This is great information. He's got the win-losses. He's got the net and the strength of schedule right next to each other. It's really great because you can take 2 teams, and if they're on the bubble, you can compare them, and you can say, okay, here's how it all lays out and who should be in and who should be out. And I've got BYU and Kansas up here, and Kansas has a better resume right now than BYU.
Yeah, they do.
They got the win over Iowa State. They have a win against Tennessee. They won at NC State and have a win at Colorado. and their worst loss is at West Virginia, which is not a terrible loss.
Well, and if we're talking about obviously they played each other and they won.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's it.
And they won the head-to-head. Yeah, one of Kansas' best wins is against BYU at home. The net rankings, let me see. Net for 15 for BYU.
Yeah. 9 for Houston at least on there. But by the way, so I've got a matchup in front of me. You ready for this one?
Yeah, they're right next to each other in net, 15 and 14.
Just for poops and giggles. Okay?
Poops and giggles.
Net ranking for BYU is 15.
Yes.
Utah State's 26.
Ooh.
Quad 1 wins for Utah State. Just the Boise State win.
That's not going to help them in March.
No, and,
their net's great, though.
The net is great. I mean, that's going to put them in the conversation. That's why they're going to be looked at the very least as an automatic qualifier, or not automatic qualifier, as an at-large bid, because you have if they just keep winning and they lose in the conference tournament and they're 24 and 5, and they have one more quad 1 win, but then if their net ranking hovers around that like 20 in the 20s, you're in, man. Like that's what it feels like.
That strength of schedule is it's
kind of weak.
116.
Yeah, it's kind of weak.
That's why you saw the UNLV loss and the Grand Canyon losses. That's why they're all of a sudden back on the bubble. And it sucks for Utah State fans. Like, we know we're a good team.
Right.
We've have some nice wins. This is the reality for Utah State. When your strength of schedule is that low, you can't take losses like that.
Yeah,
it's
get a quad.
Really punitive, like Jerry talked about.
Yeah.
A
Quad
home
3.
loss to UNLV is brutal.
Quad 3 loss.
Yeah, you can't
UNLV.
have it. They can't have
That's a tough one. Okay, let's take a break. We'll come back. We have more around the corner. We're going to jump in when we come back on some NFL Blitz. Some of the things that are non-Super Bowl related, yes. It looks like the coaching searches have mostly wound down. Although we don't have official signings yet, I think every team's got a guy that they want to take to the altar. So we'll figure it out here. We'll come back. We've got more to go around the corner. It is 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
All the latest news and notes from the league and the locals in the NFL. JJ and Alex bring you the NFL Blitz on 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. JJ and Alex, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. It's that time of the day for the NFL Blitz. Non-Super Bowl news we'll start with, because we're going to beat you over the head with the Super Bowl for the rest of the week, okay? But anything that's not Super Bowl related, there we go. Add another LaFleur to the list.
How many are there?
No, I don't know. Mike LaFleur back in the coaching ring. Throw the hat back on. This time it's Cardinal Red. Looks like he's going to be the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. There you go. Great. I think it's good that they got an offensive-minded guy, because is there a more irrelevant franchise in the NFC besides the Cardinals?
In the entire NFL, no.
In the entire NFL?
Yeah. Name one that's more irrelevant. Name a franchise in the NFL that no one's talking about. The Raiders are never irrelevant.
I mean,
because they're the Raiders.
I think the Titans are in that group that you kind of go, oh,
Fair
boy.
enough. Okay, that's a good one.
But I think that also the thing about the Cardinals is
they got Cam Ward. There was some positive things there.
Yeah. By comparison, the Cardinals, because they're in such a tough division and they're hot garbage, that doesn't help.
No.
When you have Seahawks, Rams, 49ers who are out there all in the playoffs, and you're over there just, bottom of the league in all the different categories, then there you go. So
I had an off-color thing you could have said there. I'm glad you didn't.
Well, I guess that's because you've got a dirty mind. Me, on the other hand, I'm clean as a whistle. Okay? So you keep that.
They're sitting on their what, you said?
What did I say? Sitting on their butts?
I don't know what you were talking
about. I don't
know. It was going somewhere where I was a little worried.
I didn't. No.
What are the Cardinals sitting on?
Their tush? I don't know. I don't know if I go back and
say twiddling their thumbs.
Okay.
Not sitting on their thumbs.
Oh. Mixed metaphors never good for the family.
Don't mix metaphors ever.
Oh boy!
Get your metaphors right. If you're going to use them, you better know what you're talking about.
You know what? That's maybe why they've been so bad.
Yeah,
sitting on their thumbs.
They've been sitting on their thumbs.
Oh my gosh!
Like it's a hobby or something.
Yeah. Oh my gosh!
Come on, Cardinals, be relevant again.
It's a family show.
They haven't been relevant since they made the Super Bowl.
Klint with a K, Kubiak with a K. Looks like he's going to get hired as the Raiders' next head coach. I mean, line them up. Guys that you look at and you have a lot of promise with. I think that you just at some point go, hey, you know what? They weren't hired previously as a head coach. Couple of requirements. Young, still a touch of nepotism with another Kubiak in the league.
Did you come from the Mike Shanahan coaching tree? Did your dad play in the league?
Yeah. So I get it. I get where they're at.
Hire here, Raiders.
I get it.
Tom Brady's involved. Couldn't he have come up with something better?
Did they say Tom Brady was involved in the search?
He's involved in everything.
Yeah, but I don't know how much.
Is Lloyd in there?
Good.
I wanted Lloyd's take.
I don't, because he's not going to be happy about this. I'm assuming it's just another guy. Because my thought is like this. Yeah, okay, Klint Kubiak. See ya when the season starts. And
they had Pete Carroll for a year, and it was a nightmare.
But who would have thought that Mike McDonald would have come into the Seattle Seahawks? By the way, when they hired him, and I was like, oh, awesome, a defensive coordinator. Cool. Hired a defensive coordinator. Now, the defense, they need to get back to those days of being good. But no fan wants to hire the defensive-minded coach, principally, right? Isn't that generally
it doesn't really move the needles usually?
Well, think about the guys who are the ones who get a ton of respect in the league.
Well, Belichick was a defensive guy. Pete Carroll's kind of a defensive guy, right?
But they hold the guys who are like, kind of tops of the coaching stuff right now.
McVay? Who's your top 5 coaches in the league?
Well, yeah, I think McVay's right there. I think Andy Reid obviously is there.
Kyle Shanahan.
Shanahan's right
Offensive
there.
genius.
Sean Payton.
Offensive genius.
And guess what they do? They're the ones holding the card in front of their face on Sundays, barking the orders into the quarterback's ears. So
Andy Reid, obviously.
So maybe Kubiak might be an okay hire because you go, oh, he's going to be the offensive guy. He's going to be the one kind of calling plays. Yeah, we'll hire an OC, but So I don't know if the Justin Jefferson commentary was needed. If you're a Vikings fan, First of all, you're stating the obvious, and second of all, you're just doing damage at this point, right? Justin Jefferson this weekend opening up about the Vikings struggle bus that they were on this year, and it was this time saying, yeah, I think the Vikings, we would have been considerably better if Sam Darnold would have played for us. Ooh.
He's not wrong.
I know, but you got this guy.
They won 14 games last year with Sam Darnold. What happened this year?
But they got this guy who they're kind of.
What happened?
J.J. McCarthy.
What happened?
Yeah. Oh, I like it. Was that a Mighty Wind reference?
That was.
Catherine O'Hara, by the way.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's tough, man.
It's brutal. I usually don't care about celebrity deaths.
No, but that was a shock.
I've really enjoyed her.
I thought we were gonna have another
from SCTV all the way to. Can I say the name of the show she was on the radio without getting in trouble?
What, Second City TV?
No.
Oh, Poops Creek.
I don't know. I mean, it's not the word, but it sounds like the word, and I don't want to say it on the radio. It's one of the best shows of the last decade.
Hey.
Can I say?
It's SCH.
It's Creek?
It's a...
What's the rules on that?
You can't.
It's a great show.
Our producer, he's squirming over there, so there's the answer. Whether or not we'd get in trouble, we probably wouldn't.
What's Lloyd's ruling?
Nah.
Can we say It's Creek on the radio?
No, you can't do it. I think if you say Craps Creek, we get it.
How do you do that? How do we talk about one of the great comedies of the last decade on TV?
You know who is probably the most...
How do we talk about Catherine O'Hara without talking about It's Creek?
I don't know if she's married or if she was or whatever.
She was, yes.
But like Eugene Levy must be in a tough spot right now. Somebody like that guy must be going through it because they made each other's careers with one another.
What's his name? So Kevin called him mom in real life.
Oh, McCulkin.
Yeah.
Collie McCulkin.
Macaulay Culkin. He's got to be devastated.
Yeah.
She's a great lady, a great entertainer. It's really sad. I don't know how we got to that point.
It's the NFL Blitz. Obviously, we're going to
Glad
get
you
around
brought
to
her
it.
up because I was a big fan of her work, and
obviously we were going to get around to her.
it was terrible to hear that news over the weekend.
Yeah. Hey, your guys got Sean McVay back. I don't think he was going to go anywhere, especially while I don't think Sean McVay's going anywhere if the possibility of Matthew Stafford coming back next year is going to be there. I don't know if Sean McVay, why does he do this all the time? Or is it like, I don't know, maybe I'm not going to be here. It's like, come on.
You know you're one of the best coaches in the league when you can pull that crap.
With your own team, like all the time.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be back or not. And then
So-
you end up getting the extension. We
No, but good for
get
them.
the game you're playing.
Look, the Rams are in it, man. And they're in it right
hey,
now.
Lloyd's back, right? Is Lloyd in there? Lloyd, we need your take on
Klint,
the Kubiak car.
Klint Kubiak. Klint with a K. I don't know.
Thumbs up? That's your hot take?
Because he knows if he says something, it's gonna get
thumbs up.
It's going to be officially
Anything's up from here
on the record, and he doesn't want to get himself into that, and I don't either right now. Because Klint Kubiak with a K is
KK.
He's your guy. Oh, KK. What's up, KK? The NFL, by the way, announcing another long-term deal with Madrid. And
Super, can't wait.
So there's going to be games in Madrid.
Mexico just got lined up too. I got an email.
France also in the mix.
All right.
So I told you that that ChatGPT predicted the next 30 Super Bowl winners, and they had the London Monarchs as a Super Bowl champion like 28 years from now.
Cheerio.
Why wouldn't it be the case?
Why not?
That's assuming that the NFL hasn't melted down totally and sports still exists.
You know that
in 30 years.
You know that's what the NFL. I mean, the NFL would love to get to London. Right? That's what this is building. Been for 30 years. They've been trying to win Europe over.
Yeah,
it's a game of football. Are they going to get there? Are they going to get a franchise overseas? How would that even work?
Wild. Yeah, I think London, if they're going to get a team, they'll get a team.
It would be like the so let's turn it to soccer. It'd be like the EPL saying, "Yeah, we're going to have a team in Dallas."
No, it'd be a New York team, and it would probably work. To be honest, imagine how wild it would be. A New York team in the English Premier League. It'd be fun.
It would be the most hated team in the EPL for sure.
Oh yeah.
Can't have Yankees in the league, right?
Well, who's the most hated right now? Is it Man U? Is it always like Man U? Or are they kind of the Yankees of
City? Probably
yeah, Man City. Yeah, right there. Kind of
It didn't take them long to become the most annoying franchise in the league, huh?
Remember when Leicester City was like a thing for a second?
Yeah.
All right.
Look at us talking about the EPL.
I knew
Annapolis is rolling his eyes.
I knew some teams' names.
Bunch of idiots.
I knew some teams' names. So there you go.
Dummies trying to talk soccer.
All right,
Get out of here.
We'll take a break here. We'll come back. But yeah, Stafford playing in 26. If that happens, well,
why not? He was great this year. He might be the MVP. Why would you not come back?
You can't give up out of that. Sean McVay is keeping his fingers crossed. I think you know something we don't, which is he's got to be coming back. If you re-sign, I think that should be an indicator.
No doubt.
Come on. All right, we'll take the break. We'll come back. By the way, Beehive Meals, of course, our awesome sponsor of the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week program. Brought to you by also us right here at KSL Sports. All you have to do is go to kslsports.com/contests and listen every Thursday afternoon. JJ and I roll out a winner for you. What does that mean? Well, the people who are making great impacts on the youth sports in your community or on your kid's team, you know that person who's the extra, they go the extra miles to volunteer. We all know that person. We all need them, by the way, in our families. Like if your kids are getting coached by somebody, you have somebody going above and beyond. You got a team mom, you got a ref, you got a coach. Nominate them right now. And then we read those nominations off. We honor them on our social media pages, and then they get $250 to Beehive Meals. So there you go. KSLSports.com/contests for our Beehive Meals Hero of the Week. We'll come back. We've got more. Stay right here. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Basking in the sports misfortune of others to help make you feel just a little bit better about yourself. As JJ and Alex present,
yes, we got beat. We got beat badly.
It sucks to be you.
How old's Tiger these days, by the way?
It's on the other side of 50.
52, maybe? No, he can't be.
He's dead on 50.
Is he 50? Yeah.
Wait, no. He's 50. Yeah, he's 50. 50.
He looks like he's been through
Turned
it.
50 on December 3rd.
Hairline looks like it's been through it too. And I'm saying that as a fellow follicularly challenged person myself. So I'm allowed to say it.
I can't talk about it. You can't.
You're not allowed. You're not in the club. But let me just say, Tiger.
Is it time to shave the head?
No, I don't know if he goes that far, but remember Ron Popeil's GLH?
Yeah. Not only was
great-looking hair,
president of the company, he was also client.
Let's spray some of that GLH on, man. Come on.
GLH.
That's what it was, Ron Popeil.
What does the G and the L and the H stand for?
Great-looking hair. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. I've looked into it.
You looked into it?
No, I haven't. No, because
You didn't?
No, because I sweat
Why
like
wouldn't you look
because I
into it?
sweat like a pig, and I guarantee it'd be running down my face. I would
That's
have like
gross.
I would have like brown running down my.
You worked for Carlos Boozer.
Oh, that was a Sharpie situation. Didn't he have an endorsement deal?
I have no idea.
All right. Sucks to be you coming up here.
Sucks
Before
to
that.
be you if you have GLH.
Yeah, listen. I want to see if they still sell it. Hold on. I wonder if they do. If I can find it. Oh, yeah.
How much?
First of all, if you look up GLH hair, a Wikipedia page. Oh, no, there's a side effects situation.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Is there a lawsuit?
Yeah, the hair in a can.
Is there a class action lawsuit?
Yeah, they're
Hair in a can?
Hair in a can. That's no good.
It's
Yeah.
not. No.
I'm going to show.
You're telling me hair in a can is no good?
Hey, by the way,
Oh,
I'm
man.
showing JJ the video of it spraying on.
Someday we're going to have the technology for those of you that are on YouTube. We're going to be able to pop stuff like this up on the YouTube, but that is incredible.
It's amazing.
Oh,
All right.
boy, that guy's got it bad.
So Tiger Woods needs this, though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he could use the GLH.
Hey, it builds on itself.
It does. Great-looking hair.
It's that time of the week for us
just
to be able to roll out.
$39.92 for a 1 month
I know.
supply.
Don't act like you're brushing your hair, buddy. Don't. You can't brush that.
Can't believe they marketed that.
It's like saying, "Oh, yeah, I brushed this glitter."
Go get a can of spray paint at Home Depot.
It's awesome. Hey, the boxer with the toupee situation.
Yeah.
He leaned into it, though. He laughed about it post fight. Plus, I'm assuming he got 7 figures for that fight, and so probably afford to put. But by the way, just go full, shave it off. You're a boxer.
Jarrell Miller's hairpiece pops off during fight.
It was. Did you not see it?
I've seen it.
It's crazy. It looks straight up out of a cartoon. It looks like Daffy Duck after he got shot with the Elmer Fudd gun.
Yeah, the
And
top
you're
of the hair comes
"Rip."
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks bad. Man. All right. GLH. This commercial's still playing on my screen. Hey, it's that time of the week for us to be able to roll out for you. It's that time for you to be able to call in and get yourself a prize. DJ and PK every Monday roll out the Rocky Mountain Chevy Dealers Play of the Weekend. And if you can tell us what that Rocky Mountain Chevy Dealers Play was that they gave out today on their program, you can find yourself with an Amazon gift card for your troubles of calling in and being caller number 12. So 801-575-ZONE, 801-575-ZONE, 801-575-9663. Give us your thoughts, or give us your pick for what their Rocky Mountain Chevy Dealer Play of the Weekend was. Napolis, any clues you're feeling willing to give out, or
some local performing this weekend?
Okay.
Okay.
Are they also giving away some GLH with that prize?
The side effects are disheartening, to say the least. They're concerning.
Genetic mutations?
I don't know.
What are we talking about here?
Don't put it on your food, is what I'm saying. All right? Okay. By the way, sucks to be you. People who it currently sucks to be. I put down Diego Pavia's height. And so Diego Pavia goes to the Senior Bowl. He had to have known he was going to get caught at some point, right?
Yeah.
It's one thing to go to prom and have the lift shoes on, Diego.
The NFL's not going to miss on that. They're going to figure it out.
So he had to face the music. Diego Pavia officially height-wise is at 5'9" and a third. So that's about an inch shorter than Kyler Murray, who already looks like.
Right. It's pretty tough to be a quarterback in the NFL at 5'9" and 2/3.
I don't know, but listen. We always give the example, right, of Drew Brees. He was 5'9"-ish.
Drew Brees was 5'9".
Yeah, he's a 5'10", 5'9", 5'10", right around there. He's kind of the poster boy for shorter quarterbacks. So Diego Pavia takes a hit on that. But, he had a decent Senior Bowl, so there you go. Sucks to be currently the Utah Mammoth, who have a game tonight following our program. But man, they got to get back on track here. If they lose 2 out of the 3 home games that they have before the break, that will be pretty disastrous going into the break here. So let's keep this thing going. Get the dub tonight. Go back to what you were doing for the prior 3 or 4 weeks in
crazy.
In January.
To your point, as great as they were in January, they lose 2 games. They dropped out of the top wildcard spot. They're now out of the wildcard spot totally.
They're not even in the second one?
No.
Whoa.
There's no room for error in the NHL.
Shoot.
And the Seattle Kraken have won 4 games, and now they are in the 3rd spot in the Pacific. They're not even in the wild card.
Right. That's nuts.
It's not easy in the NHL.
Sucks to be the NFL Pro Bowl, who I thought was actually played yesterday. I thought I had just missed it. They moved it to a Tuesday. The NFL Pro Bowl is a Tuesday affair. Right after CSI Miami, catch the Pro Bowl. Like, what are we doing? But again,
is it even on network TV?
I don't know. I'm sure it's on ESPN, probably. Maybe it's NFL Plus, because you have to be a real fan to dip in. It is on ESPN. All right, there you go.
The Pro Bowl games, they're calling it.
It's on Disney.
It's on the Disney Channel.
Yeah. Well, if it's on ESPN,
it's in the Hulu package. So if you bought the Hulu bundle.
Mom, can we watch Phineas and Ferb? Well, let's dip into the Pro Bowl first, and then
this is the reason we got this bundle was for the Pro Bowl games.
Oh my gosh!
We'll get back to your Pixar movie here in a moment.
Mommy, what's Justin Jefferson doing on my screen? That's the Pro Bowl, son. Kawhi Leonard. He probably has the biggest beef with getting shorted on the All-Star roster. It sucks to be him this weekend. Although, to your point, I don't think it sucks to be Kawhi. I think he doesn't want to be there.
Probably not.
I think he's going to take a nap. I don't know, hit the rest train.
Well, it sucks to be Steve Ballmer and the Clippers. How about that? Because they're hosting the game in their brand new arena, and no Clippers are going to be there for All-Star weekend.
So many bathrooms. Many bathrooms.
Well, Russell Wilson would be proud.
That's the way he wanted it done, man. All right, we'll take a break here when we come back. Speaking of hockey, Cole Bagley going to dip in with us, Utah Mammoth insider for KSLSports.com. He's going to give us his thoughts on the past 2 games, how to right the ship tonight against Vancouver, who are coming over here to Delta Center. Stay right here with us, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
The exclusive home of the Utah Mammoth is on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Peterka back for Yamamoto. He shoots and scores! Hello, Moto! Mammoth on the board. And Kyler Yamamoto stays sizzling hot. Ben with one hand on his stick. Ben centers. Wrist shot. They score! And it's Matt Duchene. 3-1. The Stars double their lead. And Duchene now has goals in 4 straight games. JJ Peterka in front. Yamamoto scores! How hot is Kyler Yamamoto? Mammoth back within 1. 13-19 to go in the 3rd. It's his 4th goal in 2 games. He's got both for the Mountain Blue tonight. And once again, it was JJ Peterka who set him up.
You're locked into JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Alex Kirry, Jeremiah Jensen. We're going to kick things off here, of course, as we like to do with our Utah Mammoth insider, Cole Bagley, as we get things kicked off. Did we play his intro there? Is that what did we already do it? Oh, no, let's do it right now, because Cole's got an intro, and frankly, he deserves it because he does a heck of a job covering the Mammoth, so let's do it.
It's time to talk hockey with the Utah Mammoth and NHL insider on KSLSports.com, Cole Bagley on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, this portion of the show brought to you by the good folks at Trajan Wealth, Trajan Wealth, TRAJAN Wealth.com, and also Cole Bagley Coming on the program, brought to you by Hercules First Federal Credit Union, growing stronger together. Cole, what's going on, man? A couple of disappointing outcomes these last couple of games, especially the one against Carolina, the way that one historically melted down. But they get within one goal with 13 minutes plus left, and I thought maybe they're going to do this thing, but no magic left in that one. They seem to calm down a little bit throughout the rest of that game after a first period. They just seem to get scored on very quickly, don't they?
Yeah, first periods have been a problem, but I think especially in that game, and Coach, even admitted it, and several of the players, they didn't come out with any energy. They were not ready to go. They were sluggish. They looked tired, and Dallas is not a team. Not that any team in the NHL, not that you can come out like that against any team in the NHL, but especially against the Dallas Stars, one of the top 5 teams in the National Hockey League, a team that could end up winning the Stanley Cup. And, a star-studded lineup. They buried themselves, and, while they kind of came back a little bit, it was just too little too late.
Look, penalties happen. We get it in this game, but it feels like the penalties have been extra punitive for the Utah Mammoth. Are they penalized more than other teams in the league? I guess is part one of the question. And part two, how can this team do a better job of controlling that?
No, they're not penalized more than other teams in the league. I'm not exactly sure where they fall in terms of the NHL.
Let me get you a number here.
But, it's been a problem as of late. It's been a significant problem. They've taken a lot of penalties over the last couple weeks. They've given up a lot of goals on the PK. And, I asked Tourney about that earlier today, just pointing it out of, hey, this PK was top 3 in the league for a long time. And now in January, you guys are right around 70%. So, what's going on and how do you fix it? And how do you kind of, how do you take fewer penalties but still play physical? And so a lot of it just comes down to being aware. And he did point out that there's not really a consistency in terms of, we're just taking stick penalties, or we're just taking delay of game penalties, or it's kind of different types of penalties across the board. And, he's like, it's just kind of how an NHL season goes. There's certain points where you're taking a lot of penalties, and there's certain points where you're not taking a lot of penalties. And the same can be said about there's certain points when the PK is really good and the PK is not very good. Now, you can't say the same about the power play for Utah because it's just been atrocious all season. But, yeah, I think it's more of just they've just taken some bad penalties as of late, and they're talking about it, and they're trying to get it figured out because, when you take as many penalties as they have against the teams, the caliber of teams that they have, you're probably not going to win those hockey games.
12th in the league, by the way. 12th most penalty minutes across the league. But, yeah, it's not insane because they're
close to top third.
495 penalty minutes. But the Boston Bruins have 752 penalty minutes. Like, that's wild. I mean, that is crazy. And then you think about it and you're like, but all the teams that are really, really good are all really low on the penalties, on the penalty minutes. So, I mean, not that that's a complete, straight line to success there, but yeah, it always helps to be able to get your guys at even strength. And this team plays their best at even strength. And I know that sounds crazy, but the reality is they're actually one of the best teams, if not, they were certainly the best team in all of January in 5-on-5 hockey. But obviously you get there to that point and you get in there and it's tough. I don't know how much these guys, they were going from winning and then you have these 2 losses in a row. What was the attitude of the team like after that loss against Dallas on Saturday?
I think just similar to the way that they played, just tired, a little sluggish, but they understood that they didn't play well. Everybody took accountability for it. Coach talked about pretty much, he dissected every kind of piece of the game, and they're not defeated, which they shouldn't be. But I think these last 2 losses sting because, look, the NHL is a league that you cannot let your guard down, right? I mean, Utah played spectacular hockey in January. All of a sudden they lose 2 games in a row and they fall out of a wild card spot.
Right.
If they would have beaten Carolina, if they would have just taken care of business over those last 2 minutes, they would still have, a 2-point advantage in the standings with an opportunity to go up 4. But now they're on the outside looking in, and they need to pick up 2 points tonight to even just get back into a wild card spot. So, they're just trying to stay even keeled right now. That's been a pretty big theme from just about every player you ask. It seems to come out of everybody's mouth, even keeled. Just trying not too high, not too low. And I think that's kind of right where they're at. I mean, and the positive thing is, look, they're up. They've progressed to where they were at this point last season, right? I think they're somewhere between 7 to 10 points ahead of where they were. They're right where they want to be in terms of competing for a wild card spot. Obviously, everybody always wants to be better, to be further ahead, but they can't be too upset with themselves. But tonight is definitely a get right game. The Vancouver Canucks are the worst team in the National Hockey League. They're actively tanking. You got to take care of business and get back in the win column tonight.
There's no doubt about that. And there are some great positive things happening with this team. And January was amazing. But one of those stories is Kyler Yamamoto. For somebody who was on the fringe to come out and score 2 goals in a game and back-to-back against two really good teams. I mean, this is Carolina and Dallas both could possibly be raising the cup at the end of the year. Where did this kid come from, and what is he doing right now that's allowed him to play at this high of a level in the month of January?
Yeah, I mean, I think people forget that he's a former first-round draft pick. He's taken 22nd overall, I think in 2017, 2018, right around that range. So he's a good player. Incredible hockey IQ, really good hands. He just puts himself in the right positions all the time, whether that's in front of the net, whether that's in the slot, whether that's battling in the dirty areas. And he plays much bigger than he is. He's one of the shorter guys, obviously, on the team, and one of the shortest guys in the NHL. But and I think that's why a lot of people have kind of looked past him. They look at his size and just go, "Oh, he can't be that effective." Well, he is. And Utah has kind of learned that over the last few weeks. He sat for I think he was out about eight games or so. Then he comes back and he goes on a tear. They put him on the fourth line, and they put him on the top line. They put him on the second line. He's everywhere. And that's because he has a very complimentary game. He knows how to play with everybody else. I asked Clayton Keller about this even after the loss in Carolina, and he says that, look, he's one of the highest hockey IQs that he's ever been around, and they're really lucky to have him on the team. So, and when I asked Yamamoto the other night about what he's proving right now, he says I'm proving that I can belong. I'm proving that I can play with these guys and I can be impactful, and he's right. And so, it's an interesting journey. He's a former first-round pick, so the skill is there, but I think his lack of size, definitely hindered him in terms of staying in lineups. He kind of bounced around the league for a while. He was in Edmonton, and then he was in Seattle, and then he was put on a tryout with Utah. He didn't even sign a contract last year until after a tryout. So it's one of the feel-good stories. A guy that has just, I think, been overlooked for a long time, and he's proving that he can still play with the big boys.
Speaking of playing with the big boys, these guys have been playing some high-level hockey, and I don't think it takes away. These last 2 losses, obviously, JJ was pointing it out, like there's just no room for error because they were suddenly going from that first wild card team to now out of the wild card even. It's just such a brutal conference, and so they get these 2 wins possibly before the break here. And then, obviously, the fingers crossed moment of good news to possibly get Logan Cooley back after the break. Have you heard anything about his status and where he's at, and what a likelihood of him rolling out right after the Olympics is going to happen?
Yeah, Bear said that he's making progress. They're really pleased with where he's at. Of course, they haven't given a expected, date of return. But if you kind of read in between the lines, I would anticipate that we see Cooley right after the Olympic break. He's continued to take steps every single day. Last week he came out for morning skate, but he just did personal drills. He didn't participate in any team drills. And then yesterday he did a pre-workout with the guys before they did morning skate. And then today he was in a non-contact sweater, but he did participate in some drills during morning skate. So it's these small baby steps, but they all point in the right direction. I would anticipate, like I said, when you look at it, Utah has performed so well over the last 3-4 weeks that there's no reason to rush him back. I think if they would have started bleeding points and started quickly falling, there may have been an excuse to maybe rush him a little bit. He's at 90% and we've got 5 games left till the break. Let's get him back because we've really got to pick up points. Instead, they continued to kind of take the league by storm. They stole some points from some really good teams. They, won a lot of hockey games. They had points in 9 straight and won 7, almost 7 in a row. So, I don't think there's any reason to think that he'll be back. I mean, he's obviously not playing tonight. I wouldn't anticipate that all of a sudden he'll jump into the lineup on Wednesday. So I would, circle, that last week of February, beginning of March for when, I would anticipate we'll see Cooley back.
Yeah, Utah should win tonight. As you mentioned earlier, the Canucks are the worst team in the league, but what are some of the things that the Canucks could do to cause them problems and possibly spoil the night for the Mammoth?
Yeah, I mean, they're still a pretty good, team, in terms of technicalities, in terms of moving the puck. They've got some decent young players, and then they've got one of the, a strong veteran in Elias Pettersson. When he's hot, he can be really dangerous. That's a guy that, out of nowhere, he can put 2 or 3 in the back of the net. So, for Utah, it's just taking care of business. It's playing their game. I was part of conversations this last week where guys like Dursey and Sergachev and Keller are saying, look, we've kind of figured out what our identity is. We know who we are as a team. And when we play that way, we're confident that we can beat anybody in the league. And if we play our game the right way, we will beat anybody in the league. So, Vancouver's still just kind of an injured animal. They've committed to the tank. They're 2-7-1 in their last 10. I think they lost like 9 or 10 in a row in January or maybe in December after they, traded away their captain Hughes. So, it's still the National Hockey League. On any given night, anybody can beat anybody. So no win is easy. And Utah will definitely need to bring their A game tonight to make sure they get back in the win column.
You mentioned they're committed to the tank. I'm curious, why would they be committed to the tank this year? Is there a prospect out there at number one that they have their eye on, or that everybody? I'm not hearing about that, but you know all the prospects and how that goes. Why are they so committed to the tank?
Gavin McKenna. Okay,
there you go.
He's the anticipated, number 1 overall pick. He's playing college hockey right now for Penn State. Lighting it up over there out in the East. He was pretty darn good for Team Canada at the World Juniors, and I don't know that this kid's a generational talent necessarily.
Yeah, I guess my question would be, is he worth the tank?
When you're Vancouver and you have not been able to figure out any direction for a long, long time, and you've traded away all your best players, which is what they've done recently, I mean, he's a kid that it's definitely worth tanking for to try to get the number 1 overall pick. I mean, his upside is really, really high. I don't know that he's going to be a Macklin Celebrini or a Connor Bedard S player. Maybe a tier down from that. He has a lot of maturing to do, and I think he needs to add quite a bit of weight before he gets to the league. But yeah, he's definitely worth it. If you're Vancouver, he's definitely worth tanking to try to draft.
Interesting year this year. Obviously, the trade deadline in the NHL gets frozen for those 3 weeks that the Olympics are going, and so the trade deadline is going to be March 6th this year. We're still new to this and trying to figure it out because it feels like the NHL is very different from the other leagues when it comes to trades and things like that. But there are very good players out there, and do you look at that and say, okay, with the cap space, with this team playing as well as they did last month, and trying to make that push to be a wild card team this year, is that attractive enough for Bill Armstrong to say we're going to go out there and get aggressive during this trade deadline or right before this trade deadline?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think what I've learned in covering this team and just making observations about Bill Armstrong is that he could jump in at any moment. I don't know that there's really a player or a trade that he wouldn't consider. And he said publicly before, look, we look at everything. If there's a player out there, if there's a situation out there that can help improve our team, we're always looking, we're always open to discussion. But on the flip side of that, kind of the message that I've received is Utah's not looking for rentals right now. They're not a team that would jump into the Nazem Kadri sweepstakes or Panarin out of New York, because those are 2 players that just don't match the timeline, right? I mean, Bill has said on the record many times, we're trying to stick to a specific timeline. That's why they added J.J. Peterka. That's why they added Mikhail Sergachev. They're looking for players in, a fairly specific age grouping. And a lot of the guys that are available, a lot of the top players that are kind of on the trade block right now, they're all 30 plus. And some of them, even Panarin and Kadri, I think those guys are 32 plus. I'm pretty sure Panarin is 34. And so for Utah, it doesn't make sense to waste assets to burn a first-round pick or a second-round pick and, a decent prospect to go and get a rental, because those types of players should be going to contenders. A Panarin should go to a Florida Panthers or to a Vegas Golden Knights or to an Edmonton Oilers. Same with Kadri. Maybe he goes back to Colorado. Like, teams that think that they're close and by adding one of those rentals, could get you, into the final or winning the cup. And for Utah, that's just not the goal right now. The goal is to get to the playoffs and to gain experience. But, based off the way that they're playing right now, I don't know that they necessarily need to add a whole lot more. Yeah, there's certain areas, a backup, another backup goaltender wouldn't be a bad idea. Some more depth in terms of their forwards, but they're going to get Alexander Kerfoot back. They're going to get Logan Cooley back. And, one just kind of final thing to add, I think a good mindset for fans to remember is this team is in a scenario where they're trying to buy time, right? They've got TJ Ginla and Cole Baudouin and Caleb Denoyer and Dmitry Simashev and Maverick Lamoureux all in either the juniors or the minors. And those guys are going to be primary pieces of the Mammoth when they start to make their cup runs. And so, like I said, Bill could make a trade tomorrow. It wouldn't shock me. He could, try to enter some of these sweepstakes. But at the end of the day, I think overall what they're trying to do right now is just to buy time for their young players.
Cole Bagley, you can see his byline, of course, and also get the notifications set up for you to be able to get the hat trick that ends up coming down after every game, and it gives you the breakdown of how this team is doing and what that game looked like, and Cole does a phenomenal job. Cole, we appreciate you always dipping in with us here on the program and educating us still on hockey as we keep every week. We're just like we try to learn something new, and we appreciate you always being patient with us. But, 6:30 is going to be the pregame, and then the 7:30 puck drop against the Vancouver Canucks across the street. Cole, we appreciate it, man.
Well, huge compliments to you guys, and I mean it. The conversations about hockey are night and day better from last season. So.
Look at that.
Oh, good. We don't suck anymore.
That much.
Appreciate that.
He didn't say we're good. He goes, last year was really bad.
Hey, we suck less. I'll take that.
We suck less. There you go. Cole, we appreciate it.
No. You're good.
I got you. We're watching a lot of hockey, man. Like, we are trying to dive in. It's a lot. So it helps that my boys are so into
breaking down number one pick prospects.
I know.
Look at us.
It's all good. It's all good.
I think you guys could potentially hold your own if you ended up in Canada and someone started talking hockey with you. That's a big compliment.
That's the goal.
Let's talk about the Flames, y'all. I'd rather talk about the Mammoth. Just like, let's stick to the Mammoth. And they're like, what? All right. Cole, have a good one. We'll be reading up tonight on how this one goes.
All right. We'll see you guys.
There you go. Cole Bagley. Yeah. We've got a lot of people that are.
It's a good jolt to my self-esteem.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, I have a lot of.
I'm not a hockey idiot.
No. But listen, I have a lot of people who tell me that very thing. They're like, you and JJ are like asking hockey questions now. Like, you guys know,
it's our job.
Well, not just that. Like, I'm into it, man.
Yeah.
I like it. So
love it.
It's a lot of fun.
We're NHL. We're an NHL market.
Yeah, we are.
We've arrived.
I don't have to prove ourselves to anybody. Still to Cole a little bit though, but yeah. Anyway, it's still nerve-wracking whenever we get Coach on too. I'm like, did you guys have a good game last night?
Yeah.
You guys won. That was good, right? All right. We'll take a break. We'll come back around the corner. Guess what we have staring at us? It is it's that time of the week for us to be able, or that time of the day to get you that Jazz Daily. We'll talk about this Utah Jazz team. A loss in Toronto yesterday. They've got almost a gimme tomorrow at a team that's tanking harder than anybody in the whole dang league, maybe. The Indiana Pacers.
Oh, man.
Down in Indianapolis.
Someone's got to lose that game.
So I've already got an injury update on the status of Keyonte, Georg, and Nurk for that game tomorrow in Indy. So we'll take that break. We'll come back. More to go. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Your daily deep dive into everything Utah Jazz. It's time! All season long and even in the offseason, it's Jazz Daily with JJ and Alex on your exclusive home of Utah Jazz basketball. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Hey, this weekend's the big game. Hey, I get to say it this one. How about a brand new TV for you to be able to watch the big game from? 75-inch smart TV, KSL Sports Zone is giving it away, and they want to put you front and center every unforgettable moment of the big game. Plus, you don't even have to give it back after the big game. That was one of my college roommates' moves, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Go to Costco, get the TV, and take it back?
Enter to win. You don't have to do that, okay? You don't need to do that. We do not condone it. Grow up. Enter to win at kslsports.com/contests. And here's how this thing works. We're going to be giving out some keywords. You can enter right there at our webpage, but you can also listen all week long for the keywords to be announced during each program. More entries you have, the better your chances are to win. So the countdown is on. Opening ceremony for the multi-international games.
The multi-international games?
I just assume we can't say Olympics. I feel like we get in trouble for saying that.
No, I would say that's stupid, but then like, well,
they might be the meanest when it comes down to it.
How about we just call it the games?
The games and the big game, all firing up this week.
There's games going on this week, and they're all on KSL and NBC.
Don't worry, because we got you hooked up. You can win that 75-inch smart TV, courtesy of KSL Sports.
By the way, with the TV, the hardest part about that is getting it back in the box.
Oh, the giving it back part. I never understood it because I was always like, dude.
How do you get that thing back in there the way it's supposed to go?
I don't know.
The styrofoam? And
I don't know. And TVs are.
You really have to be dedicated to your craft in order to pull that off.
TVs are, like, they've gotten to the point now. Like, when I was in college, though, and you wanted to get a flat screen, like, an LCD TV, there's no such thing. It was like, yeah, that's $2,800.
You can get a 55-inch 4K TV right
for
now
2
for
bits.
like $150.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Oof. Oh, yeah.
Well, the 75-inch smart TV is not going to be that, so you'll get a better one. Promise. All right? Jazz Daily, Lauri Markkanen. No Keyonte George last night, and not going to be Keyonte George tomorrow in Indianapolis for the Indiana Pacers versus Jazz game. You're also not going to get Nurk. He's going to be resting. So that's an early couple of outs for you on this Jazz team tomorrow, who are going to be facing off against a really bad, hoping to be bad, Indiana Pacers team. Think about that team in the NBA Finals going to Game 7 last year.
It's crazy.
And then Tyrese Halliburton's Achilles pops, and then they go, we'll see you in 2027, everybody.
That's essentially what they're doing.
Oh.
By the way, Pascal Siakam still made the All-Star team.
I know.
Good for him.
So you got no Clippers on the team.
No.
Pascal Siakam's on the team.
The difference between the East and the West.
There you go. So Lauri looks like he probably is going to play tomorrow. Don't know yet, but Keontae's off. Yeah. The ankle, the rolled ankle, whatever that was, I saw a video of it, and I was like, maybe. But the thing is it could be a couple weeks, could be a couple games, could be day-to-day. I think they're listing him at day-to-day, but he's already out for tomorrow. So, but Toronto's a decent team, and this team put up quite a fight yesterday. We heard Cody Williams on the intro here. 24 turnovers is never going to get it done. And that's a game that, interestingly enough, like Toronto – They didn't play a particularly good game against this Jazz team. It was like they were just taking the night off a little bit, but the Jazz kept it interesting the entire way. There wasn't some massive comeback that they had to have. They just came up a little bit short, and that was a problem. And Keyonte George not being there last night, nice fill-in by Isaiah Collier. He's stepped up in so many different moments this year, and I think getting lost in a lot of the other guys' development is a guy like Isaiah Collier who was making strides last year, and I think continues to this year. We just don't talk about him as much because you have Ace Bailey on this team. You have Cody Williams is starting to make a little bit of a push, but obviously Keyonte George is stealing a lot of the headlines because he's gotten so good this year.
Yeah, Isaiah Collier has not obviously had the rise of a Keyonte George, but you're seeing a lot of improvement with his game. You can understand why he was such a sought-after prospect and why many thought he would be a number 1 overall pick. It's because the dude's a bulldog. Like, he can score and he can attack the rim. He gets downhill. Really good two-way player. I think he defends really well when he's locked in. And he distributes the ball really well. He's an excellent passer. He sets guys up. He made things happen yesterday. 19 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, had a block as well. Like, that's a good stat line. Isaiah Collier's doing some really good things. When he's been given the opportunity, he's certainly produced some pretty good statistics. Where does he fit in with the Jazz long term? I think we've obviously identified Keyonte George as the point guard of the future. What does Isaiah Collier want his NBA future to be? Does he want to be a starting point guard in the NBA? Well, if he's going to be here with the Utah Jazz long term, that might be tough. So a decision is going to have to be made down the road one way or the other. But for right now, you're looking at Isaiah Collier's development. You're watching how he's coming along as a point guard in this league, and there's a lot to like about it. There's been moments where he's still going to get criticized for the shooting. He was 5 of 8 yesterday, but he's not out there He was 1 of 3 from 3. He hit a big 3 in that game. He had a nice 3 that really impacted the game. So I don't think you have to be like this amazing, sniper to be able to survive in the NBA. You got to have an NBA skill. And there are a lot of NBA skills that Isaiah Collier has. I mentioned getting downhill. Like he's a tough guard. If your opposing point guard has to guard him, that's going to be a long night because he gets downhill fast. He is big and strong and physical. And on the other end, he can make life difficult for you. He's a good two-way player, in my opinion. And I think that's going to continue to develop, and I think that's going to be one of the strengths that he has moving forward. Does he ever get to the point where he's an all-star level point guard? I have no idea. I don't know. That's tough to do. We saw how hard it is to make an all-star team. When Lauri Markkanen and Keyonte George not only are snub, but they're down the snub list. They're on the back end of the snub list. So it's not easy to make an all-star team. It's not easy to be the best in the league. So your expectations for some of these guys, you need to look at what is a realistic expectation for Isaiah Collier. Well, he's a late first-round pick. It's not a guy who was taken number 1 overall. You're already seeing great value where he was selected in the draft. So as a Utah Jazz fan, you got to be really excited about his development.
Indiana, of course, has taken a massive step backward this year and have gone full tank. We already knew it was going to happen. I mean, it's almost as soon as that injury happened, you went, this season's over, and next season's probably over.
They're pulling the San Antonio Spurs right now, and I don't blame them.
Oh, look, the 76ers are playing that game too, and it's hard when you have like the Nets, the 76ers, the Pacers, and the Jazz are firmly planted inside of not having to convey that pick.
They're in the group, though. I mean, it's pretty obvious. They want that pick to stay in Utah, and that's absolutely the right thing to do.
Not a bad draft to do it. I mean,
the most important draft to do it.
You think about how good the talent is this year. I saw some doofus the other day saying that Cooper Flagg would have gone 6th or 7th in this draft. Do you believe any of that stuff?
You could say maybe 3rd.
Do you think he would have been behind an AJ DeBonce?
I don't know what Cooper Flagg would have been like. It's crazy and insane that he would have been a part of this class. That's wild. I mean, you're looking at what Cooper Flagg is doing in the NBA right now, and how strong he is and what he's able to do, his skill set. Would AJ DeBonce and Darren Peterson be better draft prospects right now than Cooper Flagg? I have a hard time seeing that, but there's scouts around the league who believe that. Now, Cam Boozer, would Cam Boozer go ahead of him? Would they be college teammates right now?
Oh,
that's insane to think that Duke could have Cooper Flagg and Cam Boozer right now. It's really interesting that Cooper Flagg reclassified and all that. That's fascinating. I don't know. You're seeing what Cooper Flagg is in the NBA, and it's pretty nice. You can see he's on his way to becoming a future All-Star. So I don't know. That's a great question of where he would be. And 5 years from now, it's going to be fascinating to look back on these 2 draft classes, which we're having 2 back-to-back draft classes that are elite. How many stars? What's the future of the game look like based on these 2 drafts? How many of the players in the 2024 and 2025, and maybe let's go back to the Wembanyama, Keyonte George draft. Let's include that grouping. How many future All-Stars are in those 3 drafts?
Yeah.
I bet it would blow our minds. In 5 years, we're going to look back and be, wow, what an influx of elite talent.
The Kings right now are officially the owners of the worst record in the league at 12-39. They've lost 9 in a row. Pelicans are also a 13-win team. The East has 3 13-win teams. The funny thing is the Pacers have won 2 in a row. They're actually 5-5 in their last 10. So their last 10, so they were 8.
They lost the plot.
Yeah, hey, you guys get back on track. Come on now.
Like the Kings are doing it right. They've lost 9 of 10. The Jazz have lost 9 of 10.
They've lost 6 in a row too.
Yeah.
So they're on a reverse heater.
The Grizzlies are joining the club. They've lost 6 in a row and 8 of 10.
It's not good. So, all right. And the Bucks have suddenly lost 5 in a row. Like they are.
Isn't that crazy?
They're already.
And Giannis is done basically.
I know. They're just like, look, let's tank right now. We can tank right now.
It shows you how fast a window can close in the NBA.
Yeah.
It's wild. The Bucks are going to be rebuilding for the next decade.
On the flip side, how about the freaking Pistons? Like still just like
that's the model.
36-12.
The Thunder is probably not realistic, but I think the Pistons model is a more realistic blueprint on how to rebuild in the NBA right now. They've done a great job.
Let's take a break. We'll come back. We've got your best and worst, and then we'll get into the next hour. And I think we've got a hockey pregame coming up at 6:30, and then you've got yourself the hockey pregame at 6:30. Puck drops at 7:30. So you keep it dialed in here. You'll be entertained the rest of the night. So stay with us. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Wrapping up the hour with our picks for the best and worst moments on today's show. As JJ and Alex want to hear your best and worst of the day.
All right, everyone. Welcome back. Thanks for being a part of the program today. JJ and Alex, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. If you missed any portion of the show, you can always go back, download full hours of the program or individual segments, all of it available for you right there, KSLSports.com. Just click the podcast button right there, or just subscribe wherever you find podcasts. You can also dip in online by streaming it on our station, or not just over the air, but you can also get it on our website there, KSLSports.com as well. Just hit that streaming live button. And, of course, we're also streaming live via video on our YouTube page, KSL Sports. So there you go. Best and worst here. I know that we already listened to this, and yet it still makes me nervous just because we all listened to it, and we all loved it, and we're like, got to have that audio. But Jason Kidd went off after this weekend's loss, and he was not happy. You know, you lose to the Charlotte Hornets, but you deliver 49 points. You still are going to get criticized. Like that was what the case was. And not only is he getting criticized, Cooper Flagg that is, or whomever. Jason Kidd's getting criticized as the head coach. They're like, you're kind of using this guy differently. A lot of people going at him for having him start at point guard. Here's what the head coach and future Hall of Famer Jason Kidd had to say afterward to the media who asked him the question about Cooper Flagg.
Coach, you get a lot of national criticism for playing Flagg at point guard. But over the last 2 games,
I don't give a criticism. That's your opinion. You guys write that. That's not that. I've done this. I played this game. I played it at a very high level, and I know. But I don't give a you guys right, because you guys have never played the game, and so I've built players. So I know what the doing. So to take criticism, it only makes me better. Because if I wasn't doing it right, you guys wouldn't be poking holes at what I've done. That's it. Thanks.
Grumpy.
Quick follow-up. Yeah, no thanks. Well, quick follow-up to that. And he's like, I'll see you guys later. I think I said what I said. I think tonight's fine. He got fined for going after the referees over the weekend. Can't do that.
I was really curious to see what the next question was going to be. Kind of disappointed we didn't get it here.
Coach, what's your favorite road trip? What's like fun for you guys? That guy is not having fun, by the way.
Coach, did Cooper Flagg get snubbed from the All-Star game?
It would have been something along those lines. Yeah, listen, Jason Kidd has been through it, man. Do you remember when he first started coaching, everybody's like, he does not have it.
Yeah, and he had some failures.
He did. And you know what he did? Got way, way better, won himself a title. And now he's a guy who's looked at as, by the way, the stuff that's landed in his lap over the past 365 days, Because I think they were just celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the weirdest trade in the history of the NBA. Maybe in all of pro sports, right? Where were you a year ago when we got the news that Luka Doncic was being traded to the Lakers, and we all looked at each other and went, "Blah? Is it today?" Yeah, look at us. See, I knew it was close. 365 days from right now is when that trade went down. And you know what? Think about that. You remember the 1,000-yard stare that Jason Kidd had? He was like, and they're like, "Hey, what do you think?" He's like, "This looks like, hey, it is what it is. This is the game we play." Staring into the abyss and just wishing he had Luka Doncic back. And even after they get Cooper Flagg, fire their GM because it was still one of the worst things ever. So there you go. By the way, they fined Jason Kidd for ripping the refs and cussing out all the folks. But did you see over the weekend our second favorite story, which was Tuskegee's basketball head coach, Benji Taylor, who was let off the court in handcuffs?
Wild.
We saw that exchange, and it was one of the more interesting things. I hope somebody gets in trouble for that. So, all right, Mammoth versus Vancouver Canucks tonight. What are your thoughts before we get into this break here?
It's weird to say a must-win in February in a game like this, but if they can't lose games like this at home,
all right,
you have to completely dominate a bad team, the worst team in the league at home tonight if you want to stay in the race.
All right, that's all coming up next. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.